Be me, 34, divorced dad, work in corporate HR. Yeah, I know, HR guy. Everyone hates us, but someone has to do the paperwork. Got custody of my daughter every other weekend. Maya, she's 8, smartest kid I know. Loves dinosaurs and asking questions I can't answer. Work at this mid-sized tech company. About 400 employees. We have a new chief diversity officer. Her name is Patricia Vance. Patricia came in 6 months ago. Immediately started changing everything. Mandatory sensitivity training every quarter. New hiring quotas for all departments. I'm not against diversity. Genuinely believe in fair treatment. But something about Patricia feels off. Like she's building an empire, not solving problems. First red flag comes during a training session. She's presenting about unconscious bias. Standard stuff, nothing controversial. Then someone asks a question. This older guy from accounting, Dennis, been here 22 years, asks about the new promotion criteria, says some of the metrics seem subjective. Patricia's face changes instantly, goes from warm presenter to cold prosecutor. Thank you, Dennis, for demonstrating exactly why we need this training. The room goes silent. Dennis looks confused. What did I say wrong? Patricia smiles, but her eyes are ice. The fact that you don't see the problem is the problem. Everyone shifts uncomfortably. Dennis just asked a legitimate question. Now he's the example of what's wrong with the company. I watch him shrink in his seat. After the session, people whisper. Dennis seemed fine to me. Yeah, but you know how it is now. Nobody wants to be next. Week 3 of Patricia's reign. She institutes new meeting protocols. Men must allow women to speak first. Men must not interrupt female colleagues. Sounds reasonable on paper. But in practice, it gets weird. Meetings become this strange dance. Everyone afraid to talk normally. I watch engineers sit in silence, waiting for women to speak first, even when the women have nothing to add yet. Productivity drops visibly. One of the senior developers, Karen. Yeah, her name is actually Karen. She pulls me aside after a meeting. This is insane, right? I don't know what to say. I'm in HR. I'm supposed to support these initiatives. But Karen looks exhausted. I feel like a token now. Like my opinions only matter because I'm female, not because I have 15 years of experience. Patricia would flip if she heard me say this. I tell Karen I understand. She looks relieved. Just knowing someone else sees it helps. She walks away looking slightly less defeated. Month 2. Patricia launches the mentorship program. Women only. Men can volunteer as allies, but not as mentees. I'm assigned to help coordinate it. My job is basically administrative support, setting up meetings, tracking progress. Patricia barely acknowledges me. During one planning session, I suggest we include senior women as mentors. Patricia cuts me off mid-sentence. Marcus, I appreciate your input, but let's let women lead this conversation. I'm literally doing my job. I was asked to be here. But suddenly, I'm overstepping. The women in the room look awkward. One of them, Diane from legal, clears her throat. Actually, Marcus has been really helpful with logistics. Patricia's smile tightens. Of course he has. That's why he's here. To help, not to shape the program. I feel the distinction in my bones. I can do work. I cannot have ideas. Noted. Month 3. Things get weird with a guy named Trevor. He's mid-level manager, sales team, good numbers, well-liked. Trevor gets reported for hostile behavior. What did he do? He disagreed with a female colleague in a meeting. Called her sales projections unrealistic. Turns out they were unrealistic. The actual numbers came in 40% below her projections. But that doesn't matter now. Trevor is in my office explaining himself. I was just doing my job, he says. I know, I say. This is above my pay grade, I say. Patricia wants him gone. Patricia walks in. Trevor, we need to discuss your communication style. She sits down like she owns the room. Because she does. Trevor tries to explain. Patricia holds up her hand. I'm not interested in your justifications. I'm interested in your commitment to change. He gets written up. Has to attend additional sensitivity training. His female colleague gets no feedback on her projections. Business as usual. I start keeping notes. Not because I'm planning anything, just because something feels wrong. And I want to remember it correctly. Month 4. I meet someone interesting. Her name is Rachel. She's the company's external auditor. Rachel comes in quarterly to review our books. We chat during breaks. She asks about the new diversity initiatives. I give her the official line. She raises an eyebrow. That's interesting. The turnover reports don't really support that. I ask what she means. You've lost 23 employees in 6 months. Mostly mid-career professionals. 18 of them are men, but also 5 women who've been here over a decade. I didn't know that. Or maybe I did and didn't want to see it. People leaving, citing various reasons. But the pattern is there. Rachel shrugs. Just numbers. But numbers tell stories. She goes back to her spreadsheets. I can't stop thinking about it. 18 men left in 6 months. Experienced people. Good workers. All citing personal reasons or better opportunities. I start looking at exit interviews. Reading between the lines. Felt like I couldn't speak up anymore. Environment became uncomfortable. No one directly mentions Patricia. But the timing lines up perfectly. People started leaving 2 months after she arrived. The exodus is steady and growing. Month 5. Patricia launches her biggest initiative yet, the Ally Certification Program. Men can earn badges for demonstrating support. I'm not making this up. Literal digital badges, displayed on email signatures and Slack profiles, showing your ally level. Level 1 requires completing basic training. Level 2 requires mentoring a female colleague. Level 3 requires reporting problematic behavior. Level 4 is invitation only. The men in the company scramble. Everyone wants those badges. Not because they believe in them, because not having them looks suspicious. I watch grown professionals, engineers with decades of experience, competing for gold stars like kindergarteners. It would be funny if it wasn't sad. Trevor, the guy who got written up, he's suddenly the most enthusiastic ally. Volunteering for everything. Desperate to rehabilitate his image. I see him in the break room one day. He looks broken. I ask if he's okay. He laughs, but there's nothing behind it. I'm great, Marcus. Never been better. Did you see I got my level 2 badge? The enthusiasm is hollow. I think about my daughter Maya, about the world she's growing up in. Is this what progress looks like? Grown men reduced to collecting badges. I want her to have every opportunity. I want her to be treated fairly. But I also want her to earn respect, not have it mandated by policy. Month 6. Patricia announces the crowning achievement, the Leadership Pipeline Program. Fast-tracking women into executive roles. Sounds great on paper. Promote more women to leadership. Close the gap. Make history. But the implementation is troubling. Qualified male candidates are automatically passed over, regardless of experience or performance. It's explicit, written into the criteria. I'm reviewing the policy documents. This is my job, making sure we're legally compliant. And I see problems. I bring them to my boss, director of HR. She's been here 15 years. Practical woman? No nonsense. Her name is Margot. Margot reads my concerns. She sighs heavily. I know, Marcus. I see it too. So what do we do? I ask. She looks tired. We document everything. And we wait for the inevitable. I ask what she means by inevitable. She looks at me with sad eyes. Patricia isn't the first person like this. They always overreach eventually. She tells me about a previous diversity officer. Different company, years ago. Same energy, same trajectory. Ended badly for everyone. But people got hurt waiting for the overreach. Careers damaged, good employees lost. The company spent years recovering. Is that really our only option? Margot shrugs. What's the alternative? If we speak up now, we're the problem. We're the resistance to progress. I go home that night feeling helpless. Maya is there for my weekend. She asks why I look sad. I tell her work is complicated. She hugs me. You always figure stuff out, Dad. You're smart. I wish I had her confidence. Month 7. The ally badge system starts causing problems. People are reporting each other. Not for actual issues, for badge progression. If you report problematic behavior, you get points. So suddenly, everything is problematic. A joke becomes harassment. A disagreement becomes hostility. I'm drowning in complaints. Most of them are ridiculous. But I have to investigate each one. Policy requires it. Guy complimented a woman's presentation. Reported for potentially creating uncomfortable expectations. I spend 3 hours on this. My actual job goes undone. The company culture is poisoned. People don't talk to each other anymore. Everyone sends emails for everything. Paper trails, evidence, protection. Meetings are silent. Collaboration is dead. No one takes risks. No one disagrees with anything. Productivity numbers start dropping. The board notices. They ask Patricia about it. She blames resistance to change. The men who haven't adapted yet. The old guard. Toxic elements being flushed out. Natural growing pains. The board seems satisfied. They want to be on the right side of history. They don't see what's actually happening. They only see the press releases. Patricia is featured in a business magazine, transforming tech culture one company at a time. The article is glowing. She's a hero. I read it 3 times, looking for any hint of reality. Nothing. Pure narrative. Month 8. I discover something troubling. Patricia's previous company. A similar tech firm on the West Coast. I'm not stalking her. Just curious. Professional research. That's what I tell myself. I find a news article from 2 years ago. Senior diversity officer departs amid controversy. The company settled multiple lawsuits. Terms undisclosed. I dig deeper. Find a Reddit thread. Employees talking anonymously. The stories sound familiar. Mandatory training that felt like punishment. Men silenced in meetings. Good employees leaving in waves. Productivity cratering. She left before things got too bad. Took a consulting gig. Rebuilt her reputation. Now she's here doing the same thing. I show Margot. She nods grimly. We document everything, remember? I'm starting to hate that phrase. Month 9. Patricia targets Karen, the senior developer who pulled me aside months ago. The one who said she felt like a token. Somehow Patricia found out. Karen's words got back to her. I don't know who told. But now Karen is persona non grata. She's not fired. That would be too obvious. Instead, she's reassigned, moved to a dead-end project. I watch Karen clean out her desk. She's not leaving the company, just moving to the basement office, the one nobody visits. She looks at me as she passes. Don't make waves, Marcus. That's her only advice. Then she's gone. I feel sick. Karen was brilliant. 15 years of experience. Now she's buried for wrongthink. That night, I call Margot. We need to do something. She's quiet for a long time. What do you suggest? I don't know. Document everything isn't working. People are getting hurt now. Real damage? Real careers? Margot sighs. There's someone you should meet. Her name is Eleanor. She was Patricia's assistant at the last company. I meet Eleanor at a coffee shop. She's nervous, looks around constantly. She made me sign something before I left. A non-disclosure agreement. But there are things I can tell you. Things that are public record. Things that happened after I left. She starts talking. 2 hours later, I understand. Patricia has a pattern. She comes in, builds an empire, extracts value, then leaves before it collapses. The lawsuits at her last company. 4 women sued for discrimination. Not men, women. Women who disagreed with her methods. They were sidelined, demoted, pushed out. Just like Karen. Just like anyone who questioned the program. Regardless of gender, it was never about feminism, Eleanor says. It was about power, about building an untouchable position, about control. The feminist language was armor. Question her and you're questioning all women. Criticize her methods and you hate diversity. Perfect protection. She used real issues as a shield, actual problems that deserve attention, exploited them for personal gain, left wreckage behind. I ask Eleanor what happened to the women who sued. She looks away. Settlements, non-disclosures. They took the money and disappeared. One of them had to leave the industry entirely. Couldn't get hired anywhere. Patricia's network is extensive. She knows everyone. I drive home feeling hollow. This woman is destroying my company. And I can't do anything about it. Because questioning her means questioning progress. Month 10. Maya asks me about feminism. They talked about it in school. She wants to understand. I try to explain. Women and men should be treated equally. Women should have the same opportunities. Their voices matter just as much. She nods. That makes sense. Why would anyone disagree with that? I don't have a good answer, but I think about Patricia. How she's twisted something good into something ugly for her own benefit. Feminism isn't the problem. Patricia is the problem. But she's wrapped herself in feminism, made herself inseparable from it. Anyone who attacks her attacks the cause. At least, that's how she frames it. It's brilliant and evil. A perfect shield. I wonder how many others do this. Use good causes as cover. Exploit real movements for personal gain. Maya falls asleep on the couch. I carry her to bed. I want better for her. I just don't know how to get there. Month 11. The breaking point comes unexpectedly. Not from me. Not from any man. It comes from Diane, the woman from legal who defended me. The one who said I'd been helpful. Diane has been gathering evidence. Quietly. Methodically. For months. I had no idea. She approaches me on a Tuesday. We need to talk, somewhere private. My heart starts racing. We meet in my car in the parking garage. She has a folder. Thick. Organized. This is everything she says. The lawsuits from the last company. Internal complaints here that were buried. Financial irregularities in Patricia's budget. And something else. Patricia has been claiming credit for initiatives other people created, taking work from her own staff, presenting it as hers. There's an email chain from a woman named Stephanie, Patricia's assistant, complaining to a friend about stolen credit. Stephanie wrote the entire Ally program. Every word, every framework. Patricia took it, presented it to the board. Stephanie got nothing. When Stephanie complained, she was quietly let go. Severance with an agreement, just like at the last company. I flipped through the pages. It's damning, but I still don't see how we use it. Patricia will just claim persecution. Diane smiles grimly. That's why we need help. From someone Patricia can't dismiss. Someone whose feminist credentials are unimpeachable. I ask who she has in mind. She tells me. My stomach drops. It's brilliant, but terrifying. Month 12. The board meeting is scheduled for Friday. End-of-year review. Patricia will present her achievements, her transformative work. Except this time she'll have an audience. Diane invited Dr. Sarah Chen, renowned feminist scholar, author of 6 books on workplace equality. Dr. Chen was Patricia's mentor. Years ago, when Patricia was starting out, they had a falling out. Patricia never says why. Diane reached out to Dr. Chen, shared the evidence. Dr. Chen agreed to attend, as a concerned alumna and supporter. The board thinks she's here to congratulate them, to celebrate their progress. Patricia doesn't know she's coming, until she walks through the door. I'm not in the room. I'm HR, not executive level. But Diane texted me updates, live coverage of the implosion. Patricia presents her achievements, the diversity metrics, the programs, the cultural transformation. The board nods along. Then Dr. Chen raises her hand. May I ask some questions? The board is delighted. Such an honor to have you here. Dr. Chen asks about turnover. 23 employees in 6 months, mostly high performers. What's the explanation? Patricia deflects. Natural transition. Removing obstacles to change. Making room for new voices. Dr. Chen asks about Karen, a senior developer with 15 years' experience, relegated to a basement office. After expressing concerns about the program, Patricia's face changes. How do you know about that? Dr. Chen ignores the question. Asks about Stephanie, the assistant who wrote the Ally program, who was fired after asking for credit, who signed a non-disclosure agreement, just like 3 women at your last company. The board looks confused. They didn't know about the last company, about the lawsuits, the settlements. Patricia told them she left for new opportunities. Patricia tries to speak. Dr. Chen continues. I mentored you 20 years ago. I believed in you. But you've become something I don't recognize. You've taken feminism and twisted it into a weapon for your own advancement, a shield against any accountability. You silence women who disagree with you. You steal from women who work for you. You destroy careers of anyone who questions you. And you call it progress. The board is silent. Patricia is white as a sheet. Dr. Chen isn't done. She presents the evidence, the lawsuits from the last company, the complaints buried at this one, the financial irregularities, the pattern of credit theft. I built the Ally certification framework Stephanie wrote. I developed the mentorship program Diane created. I transformed the culture engineers like Karen built over decades. All true. None yours. Patricia finally finds her voice. This is a coordinated attack by people who resist progress. You're doing their work for them. Dr. Chen shakes her head. I'm a feminist, Patricia. I've devoted my life to this cause. That's why I'm here. Because people like you damage us. Every time you weaponize our language, every time you use our movement for personal gain, you give ammunition to people who want us to fail. You make it harder for real progress. You make people afraid of the word feminist. You make men defensive and women suspicious. You hurt everyone. The board calls an emergency meeting. Patricia is asked to leave the room. Dr. Chen provides her materials. Diane provides hers. I wait in my office. 3 hours pass. Finally, Margot calls me. Get in here. The board has decided. Patricia is on immediate administrative leave, pending a full investigation. Legal is already involved. I ask what happens next. Margot shrugs. Probably a settlement. A quiet departure. Won't she just do this somewhere else? Margot looks at me. Dr. Chen is writing an article for a major publication, naming names, detailing the pattern, putting it all on record. No more quiet transitions. I feel something release in my chest. Relief, maybe, or just exhaustion. Probably both. The next few weeks are chaos. Patricia fights, hires lawyers, threatens lawsuits of her own, claims feminist persecution. But the evidence is overwhelming. And it comes from women. Women she silenced. Women she stole from. She can't claim misogyny. When the accusers are women, she can't claim persecution. When the evidence speaks for itself. Dr. Chen's article drops. It goes everywhere. Patricia's career is effectively over. No one will touch her now. Karen gets her office back. Gets a promotion, actually. Head of the new development team. She looks 10 years younger. Stephanie comes back too. Her settlement had a clause. If the company found misconduct, she could return. She becomes the new diversity lead. The real one. The one who actually wrote the programs. The one who believed in them. The badge system is abolished. Meetings go back to normal. People start talking to each other again. Productivity rebounds within weeks. I pick Maya up for my weekend. She asks if work is still complicated. I tell her it's getting better. She smiles and takes my hand. Walking to the car, I think about everything. The irony isn't lost on me. A man couldn't have stopped Patricia. Any criticism would have been dismissed. It took women. Diane, Dr. Chen, Karen, Stephanie. Women who believed in feminism enough to hold other women accountable. That's what it should look like. Principles over tribalism. Truth over identity. Real solidarity. Maya asks what I'm thinking about. I tell her about equality. How it should mean everyone is treated fairly. Everyone held to the same standards. She nods like it's obvious, because to an 8-year-old it is. Fairness isn't complicated. Adults make it complicated. I think about Dr. Chen's words, people who weaponize good causes, give ammunition to opponents, make real progress harder. I think about all the legitimate issues that Patricia exploited. Women are interrupted in meetings. That's real. It happens. But the solution isn't silencing men. It's teaching everyone to listen. It's culture change, not power inversion. It's building up, not tearing down. I think about the men who left. 18 good employees. Some probably deserved to go. Some were probably good people in impossible positions. I think about Trevor, still here collecting badges, broken and performing enthusiasm, slowly coming back to himself. I think about Margot, who told me to document everything, who was right, even if waiting was painful. I think about Sophia from that story. Not the same situation, but the same principle. Sometimes the messenger matters. A man couldn't have stopped Patricia, just like a man couldn't have stopped Dr. Whitmore. The system is designed that way, for better or worse. Maybe that's changing. Maybe people are learning. To judge ideas, not identities. To apply standards universally. Or maybe not. Maybe there will always be Patricias. People who exploit movements for personal advancement. But there will also be Dr. Chens. People who care about truth. Who hold their own accountable. Who don't let principles become tribalism. Maya squeezes my hand. You look happy, Dad. I am, I tell her. Things are going to be okay. I don't know if that's true. The world is complicated. People are complicated. Progress is never a straight line. But today, we won something. Truth mattered. Evidence mattered. The right people stood up. and my daughter will grow up in a world that's slightly more honest, slightly more fair, slightly more sane. That has to count for something. Maybe that's everything. I squeeze her hand back, and we walk toward the car. The sun is setting, orange and pink across the sky. Maya points at the clouds. That one looks like a dinosaur. I look at the cloud. It doesn't look like anything to me, but I tell her she's right, because sometimes she is. And sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys win. Even when the fight seems impossible. Even when the game is rigged. Even when the system protects the wrong people. Even when speaking up means risking everything. Truth finds a way. Patricia thought she was untouchable. Wrapped in armor nobody could pierce. But armor has gaps, and truth has patience. The women who stopped her didn't do it for men, didn't do it for applause. Did it because it was right. That's the lesson I'll teach Maya. Do the right thing, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Feminism isn't a weapon. Equality isn't revenge. Progress isn't about who talks first. It's about building something better, something where everyone matters, where ideas beat identities, where truth beats narrative, where principle beats tribe. Maybe that's naive. Maybe the world doesn't work that way. Maybe I'm just an HR guy who got lucky this time. But Maya is looking at dinosaur clouds, and the sun is beautiful. And for one moment, everything seems possible. I open the car door for her. She climbs in, already talking about school, about her friend who has a new hamster, about the spelling test on Monday. Life goes on. The drama fades. Monday, I'll be back at work, handling paperwork, processing complaints. But something shifted. In the company, in me. The armor can be pierced. The untouchable can be touched. You just need the right people, with the right evidence, at the right time, willing to speak. I start the car. Maya plays with the radio, finds a song she likes, starts singing along badly. I laugh. She laughs too. The world is complicated, but this moment is simple. Just a dad and his daughter, driving home in the sunset, with dinosaur clouds overhead, and one less tyrant in the world. That has to be enough. Because some days, that's all you get, and it's everything.